Okay, so here we are with another episode of the Hellfire Podcast, and I'd like to welcome our esteemed guest today, Tommo Thomas. Tommo, how are you?
I'm all right.
You've been nervous, mate.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So basically, Baz and Ben are both snowed under today. They're both locked away in the editing suites upstairs, although Baz did manage to spill a massive tin of paint in the kitchen earlier on, which has caused absolute chaos. So, so if anyone visited us over the next few days, just watch your steps. You'll see Baz, his footsteps up the stairs and what have you. So anyway, Tommo, let's get on to you, man. How you doing? You well?
I'm all right, mate.
Yeah. You're a bit surprised to be doing this today, right?
Yeah, because we're meant to do the... What was I playing? Graham, was it? Or...
Yeah. So we were doing some sketch show stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
Which you were going to play one of our Netflix hero dads.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
No, we decided to get you in to do a podcast instead. So, so Tommo, tell us, what are you? Are you an actor? Are you a gym goer? Are you a doorman? Are you a superhero? What are you?
Definitely not a superhero. So yes, I am a doorman. I work in all sorts of security. You know this, I don't like to say I'm an actor. I do acting jobs.
Listen, do you act professionally?
Yeah.
Then you are an actor.
I'm an imposter.
No, you're not at all. Because I tell you what, I've seen your work and you're fucking good. All right? So don't put yourself down, all right? Okay? You are a professional actor. Say it with me. You're a professional actor.
Professional actor.
With a bit more confidence, please, for the listeners out there. You're a professional actor.
I'm a professional actor.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, Tommo, talk to us about your journey then. So how did you get into acting? I know that it's a bit unusual. It wasn't like a drama school route or anything like that, was it?
No, it was dandy ass.
There you go. All right. So tell us all about it.
All right. So I was in the gym. I was one of the managers of the gym and I was training. And we had this young lad who was a member, didn't know him or anything. It was dandy, yeah?
Yep.
And I was training. I remember I was doing overhead press and I was facing the mirror, just pressing. And then this lad was just staring at me and I got a bit freaked out. I was like, I could see him in the mirror and I was thinking, what's he want? Anyway, I put the weight down and I sort of turned around and I went, you all right? And he goes, oh, you know what he's like? He goes, oh, I'm so sorry.
Very nice.
He goes, I'm not a weirdo or anything. It's just... has anyone ever told you you've got a really good face to play bad guys in movies? And I was a bit like, what does he mean? Like, saying I'm ugly? I don't know.
Are you looking for a slap or what? Like...
Yeah, but I was a bit taken aback. I didn't know if it was a compliment, because I love movies, or if he was just being horrible. So I sort of went, no. And he said, oh, no. He said, I'm in films and let me take your picture and all this stuff. And, I'll get you on an agency and that. And I said, all right then. So that's what happened. And then, I started doing all the background stuff, thanks to Dan. Obviously, we know Dan really well now. He's a mate of ours now. Yeah. So I owe him a lot, really. But at the time, I was just a bit like, I don't know how to take this. But it worked out.
And so how long ago was that?
That was in 2016.
Right, so a fair while ago now, like 8 years.
Yeah. My first job was Jurassic World 2. And I played a bodyguard for a guy that was an auction for dinosaurs. And literally, I was there for 8 days. I just sat there next to this little geezer who was like bidding. And I just sat there looking mean in this suit. And that was it. And then they paid me at the end of it. I couldn't believe it.
No, not a bad gig, right?
It was
Jurassic
brilliant.
2,
yeah, I loved it.
That's awesome, man. And I mean, look, how many movies would you say you've done now in total? If you can find an estimate in any way.
Wait, are we talking as background or are we talking like the smaller budget, sort of bigger roles?
So break it down into background, smaller budget, bigger roles and what you've got. All
right, so in terms of like the background work, oh God, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Like 10 big budget movies.
Yeah.
Obviously Jurassic World 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bohemian Rhapsody, what was the one I just did? Deep Cover the other week. Yeah, so like loads like that.
Yeah.
Our Man in Jersey, I think that was another one. Heads of State. So there's loads, but they're just.
And when you say background, but they're featured background, right? They're not just in a crowd,
Some of them are just in a crowd.
Some of them are, right?
Yeah, and some of them were, slightly better featured, like Hobbs and Shaw. Basically, I was in quite a few scenes on that one. Heads of State, where I played like a Secret Service agent. So I was like walking behind, was it Idris Elba and John Cena and all that sort of stuff. But those sort of jobs, they're the ones where you can be there for hours and you can earn decent money for the day. But they're the ones where you're not treated very good. You're a living prop.
Right, okay.
That's what I call it. You're a living prop. But I don't mind because it pays.
Yeah.
So, but then lower budget movies, like the shorts that we've done or whatever, I don't even know how many. Quite a few now, to be fair. We went to a premiere the other day, didn't we?
We did, actually. Let's get on to that, actually. So we went to the premiere of Jacko Macaco's latest film, Finding...
Penelope.
Saving Penelope. That's it, yeah. Really, really good film. Really funny. And you were brilliant in it, playing the uncle, weren't you?
I was Uncle Reggie, yeah.
Uncle Reggie, yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you met those guys, who they are, and about the project itself.
Okay, so I don't know how long ago. It's well over 2 years now. They put a job out on Mandy, the website, and it was for Malcolm the Strongman in a circus.
Yep.
Obviously, you saw
yeah.
for Monkey or Man. So I applied for it. I got it. Came down to London Film Academy for 2 days. It was their final year project they were filming. Lovely people, as you know, because you've met them now.
Yeah.
Had a really good couple of days filming that. Loved it. And then, because I got on with them and that, whenever they did another film, they kept giving me little parts. Like I played a little part in a van called Muriel, which you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, you've told me about
I'm
this.
I'm going to try and get
really
you to see it, because it's really nice. So yeah, I played a little part in that, and then obviously they recommended me to a couple of the other students. I've done a couple of other student films. There's one called Armed to the Teeth, which I'm only a little part in it, but I was happy to do it. And then obviously this one, Saving Penelope, where I played Uncle Reggie. And then hopefully, if they ever make another one, they'll put me in that as well. Yeah,
nice. And I know they're talking about the next step would be making a feature film, right? So
yes. That's so basically you got Jacko Macaco is Ozzy, Gus, and Jude. I think there were a few others, but I think they're the main three. And yeah, they're all really good lads. Jude Cook obviously is the son of Mackenzie Cook, who we met.
Yeah. And again, was a really nice guy as well.
I fanboyed a bit over. I don't normally do that, but I did, so I was a bit embarrassed about myself.
Mate, you're allowed to. Mackenzie Cook's a legend, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And Gus is like the serious one, and then Ozzy's like I don't know, Ozzy's the one I probably know the most because he's the one who got me the first job. And then obviously Ozzy's missus is really nice as well. She's the main character in a van called Muriel.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, they're all really talented and they've got a really good future. And I'm really glad I know them. And I feel like I owe them a lot. Kind of like I feel like I owe Dan a lot as well because he got me started in it in the first place because it was never something I ever thought I would do, and I still sometimes can't believe I'm doing it. So
what was it? So let's take you back to that. Excuse me, that very, very first film role you did. What was it like when you first got on set?
I remember. So the first day of filming, that wasn't in the auction scene. There was a scene that was set just after that, in the movie, and it's when we're running away from the auction. So the first night filming I ever did, I was running away from this. It was a facade. It was like a mansion, a big mansion, but it was a facade. The set was amazing. And literally all they said was every time we do an action, you just got to run from point A to point B. It was just running through the gravel. I was absolutely knackered by the end of it because I don't like running, obviously. But it was just really good. It was really good. And that was my first night. And then the next sort of few days was all sitting in this auction that was at Pinewood Studios.
Yep.
And I just had met loads of nice people, had a really good time, stayed in Airbnb while I was down there because it was just easier. Stayed with a couple of the other people that are doing the essay work as well, supporting artists' work.
Yeah.
I just loved it. And then they said at the end of it, oh, can we use you for other stuff? I was like, yeah, of course. And then it just got sort of slowly built up from there and then started getting some speaking parts and stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, all right. So, talking of running, I know you said you don't like running. People might recognise you from some of the adverts that have been on TV recently.
Oh, yeah.
So, the EE advert, for example, where you're running down the road, you jump over a car and stuff. And tell us about that, because I know you sustained an injury, didn't you, while you were doing that?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So, first of all, I got that one. I didn't have an agent at the time. I was in between agents. And I'd just done a job with this really nice young actress. She's called Junior Cleopatra on Instagram. I can't remember her real name. I do apologise if she watches. Really nice girl, but she recommended me for this advert that she's in the casting for. And it was basically like a hard man running down the road, and you think he's running away from the police, but actually he's trying to run home
to get to his daughter
to play on the computer with her. So I emailed the people that night because she sent it to me on Instagram. I emailed them, and they said, come in tomorrow for an audition. So I thought, sweet, yeah, I will. So I went down for the audition, and all they said was there was 2 chairs in the middle of the room. They said, right, run from that side to that side and jump over the chairs. I was like, brilliant. I jumped over the chairs, but they collapsed. So I messed it right up, and I thought, oh, this is stupid. But they all laughed anyway. And then somehow I got the job. And then when it came to the day of filming, I remember we did 43 takes, right? And they used take 42 apparently.
Wow.
But on take 2, I tore my right hamstring.
Oh.
I tore it, and I was like, no, because I had a standby geezer. It was my mate, actually. I worked with him before. And I was like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? I was in agony, but I thought, sod it, I've got to just keep going.
Yeah.
So I did. I just kept going and kept going. And then the next day, the back of my leg was just like blood, bruised blood everywhere. And I was in,
mate.
I was in pain for ages, but I thought it was well worth it. I got paid really well for it. So
yeah, and it's a really funny advert as well, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
And it gets to show you in a different side, because I know you mentioned that you get sort of typecast a lot as henchmen and thugs and things like that.
Yes, I do, yeah. But they did tell me at the very beginning, because of my build and the way I look. I mean, even Dan said it when I met him. He said he got a good face to play bad guy. So I knew I was going to get typecast. And I don't mind, because it's money, innit? It's a job.
Yeah.
But every now and then, I sometimes get someone who goes, oh, I've got something a bit different for you. Just like on Monkey or Man, where I played Malcolm the Strongman.
Yeah.
They took a chance on me to give me something a little bit different. And it was really nice. And I appreciate that a lot. So it's nice to, because I'm not like that in real life, you know.
Yeah.
So it's nice when someone sort of says, actually, let's not stereotype you. Let's give him something different. Because it's just nice to be able to do something different. And then, because playing a tough guy, you stand there and you don't smile. That's it. So that's why I say I'm not really an actor. But when I have to do those sort of jobs, I feel like I'm actually acting. Because I'm playing a real character, like a 3-dimensional character, not just a caricature of what you think a hard man is. Yeah. So that's why I like doing it.
So what's your preferred style of drama? Do you prefer, performance to say, do you prefer drama? Do you prefer comedy? What would you prefer to do if you got the choice?
Mate, I have no idea.
See, I think someone needs to write a comedy for you, because I think actually in a comedy role you're brilliant. In Saving Penelope, in that comedic role there, you were fantastic.
Yes, I don't know. I don't like, when I see myself, I'm like, rubbish. So I don't, I told you the other day, I was like.
But I think, to be fair, everyone does that. Everyone's really overly critical of themselves. That's a really hard thing. I do the same. I watch stuff and I'm like, oh my God, that's crap. I should have done it this way or that way.
When people were laughing, I was like, why are they laughing? That's awful. But as long as other people think it's all right, then I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I do. Listen, anyone gives me a job, I'm happy. I'll do whatever. I don't mind. I'll tell you what I would love to, and that's cheesy, I'd love to be like a Jason Voorhees type.
Like a horror, like a real, Yeah,
I would. Maybe, obviously I'd like to be the killer.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't? But I'd also like to be like one of the, do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to be like, not the main hero dude, because he's always good looking, right? I'd like to be like his mate who sacrifices himself to save someone else.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay, that's interesting. That's giving me food for thought anyway. We'll let's get our heads together and see what we can come up with.
There you go, yeah.
Now, you and I have been in a couple of films together. We've been lucky enough to do that. So, see The Grey Room and Ashland more recently.
Yes.
How did you find those experiences?
So The Grey Room was pre-COVID, wasn't it? That was a long time ago. And I was only there for a couple of days. You guys had filmed most of it by the time I got there. But it was nice. It was fun and that. But I loved Ashland because obviously I knew everyone better.
Yeah.
And it was more relaxed, obviously. And yeah, I had a better part. I actually had a speaking part
You
instead of
did,
just playing
yeah.
an alien assassin or whatever I was.
Well, I wrote that part specifically for you. That's the
What,
thing.
Bazza?
Yeah, I wrote that
Yeah.
part specifically with you in mind. So,
Well, thank you.
but I think that's always a good thing when as a writer, when you can write with the person that you're envisaging playing the part in mind. I think that always really, really helps. And for me, that was always the part there for you.
Well, I hope I did all right.
No, you did brilliant, mate. You absolutely smashed it. Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
So, but again, I tried to write the humour in it for you, so it wasn't just the straight up "I'm a thug, I'm a hard man." There was some nuances in there as well. I tried to anyway. So.
Yeah, I loved it. It was it was over 2 days we did it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I loved it because, like, you was there, Dan was there, Tequila was there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ben was there, and then I met Selly, Darren, and I just had a really good time. I loved it. And I'm one of these weirdos. I do this on everything, by the way. You go in, you do a couple of days filming on something, and then you leave, and I'm like, oh, I miss everyone.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. I sort of go, oh, I get like post-filming blues.
I know what you mean. When you get a really good team of people together, you do feel like that. When you leave set, you think, we're probably never, ever going to work all together again as a whole team. And film's strange like that, right?
Yeah. And I do get a bit upset about it. I get nostalgic. Is that the word? Nostalgic, yeah. Because I love it. I do. I just love it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, to be honest with you. And I mean it. I can't believe I got into it, and I love it. And I just want to keep doing it.
Well, there you go. So if anyone's looking for someone that looks like Tommo, he doesn't just play hard men. He plays comedy roles. He does lots of other stuff as well. You know where he is. We're going to put his links up and stuff like that afterwards and things.
God.
Look, all actors have to have other jobs while they're resting and stuff like that. And I know that your job, you sort of play it down, but I think your other job is actually really exciting as well because you get to experience lots of really cool things through that as well, don't you?
What, security?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, actually, I love it. Yeah. See, that's another thing. I love that job as well. Not all the time, because some of the stuff, it's a bit dodgy. Whatever, your events are a bit dodgy. But we did the AEW. Was it AEW wrestling?
Yeah.
At Wembley, and that was amazing.
I know you're a massive wrestling fan as well, aren't you?
Yeah, and especially now, it's the first time I've ever seen it live, and it was unbelievable. And we didn't even have to do anything because the crowd was so good. Like, they were different sort of crowd. It's not like going to football where they're all a bit tribal. Like, it was totally different. And we were just watching the wrestling. And some of the moves they were doing were incredible. I couldn't believe it. And then, obviously, I met Bo, didn't I, on Ashland, and he was a wrestler. So I was, like, so excited about that as well. And we did the London Marathon last year. That was awesome, seeing people finish. Because we was at the finish line, literally, giving out water.
Nice.
And, like, directing people to go and see their families. And that was nice. Like, that was really nice. I met a super vet, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, I did. He was nice. He was a really nice geezer, yeah. And then what else? Oh, yeah, do the boxing, didn't I?
Did the boxing, Saudi Arabia, going to Saudi Arabia for Fury Usyk.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I love to see, that's another thing. So I love boxing and I get to do the ring walks, but that's the thing. I've got to look serious because I'm like, I get excited. And the first time I did it, my boss was like, stop smiling. So I was like, trying to, obviously, I thought, right, I mean, I'm on a film set.
Got to look hard,
just don't smile, walk like, get out of the way. But really inside, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I just love it. And then you get to sit ringside, watch the fight, and then walk them back. What more? I love it. Like, I'm lucky. In many ways, I am lucky.
So it's the Queensbury shows you do, is that right?
Yeah.
So if you watch any Queensbury boxing, keep an eye out for Tommo because you'll see him walking the boxes up to the ring and stuff like that. So yeah, I always look out for you on TV. I'm like, there he is.
I'll be trying to look mean.
Yeah.
Actually, I should pretend I am really mean because otherwise people realise I'm not. I am mean.
You wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, honestly.
No, I'm hard.
Honestly, earlier on, there was a pot noodle out there and I nearly hit it and let's just say it was a close call for me, shall we say?
I've got another one.
Now,
got a spare over there.
People do see you as a tough man, but I know you have a particular fear, which not a lot of people necessarily know about.
Which one?
Which is your fear of anything from the sea.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Sharks, especially. I love sharks. They're my favourite. One of my favourite animals in the world. But I saw Jaws when I was about 5 years old, and that just totally messed. It's my favourite movie ever.
Yeah.
But that totally messed me up. So I might go to my knees, and then I might just sit down, and then that's it. And
No swimming.
no, you're having a laugh. Millions of years ago, whatever creature we came from, that left the sea for a reason, mate. And we shouldn't go back.
No, is that right?
That's right. That's what I think. So no.
But you also won't eat any fish either, no?
No way.
Why?
Because I think we should leave the sea alone. It's like a different world. Like I won't touch anything. Crabs, lobster, any of that. Prawns. No way.
Mate,
mussels.
You should try mussels. Are gorgeous.
I love cheese.
Yeah.
I'll stick to cheese. Yeah. Nah, I don't like, no seafood for me.
All right, fair enough. Well, so just to give us an idea of the sort of person you are then, I'm going to just sort of round this up with some favourite movies. So you said Jaws was your number one?
Jaws, I know my top two.
Give me your top five.
Oh, no, see, right, okay. I know my top two and I know why. But then after that, there's so many that are just, they can change.
Okay.
So Jaws is number one.
Yep.
I love Jaws because it affected me as a person, clearly. I know it's not, people don't really call it a horror, but to me it's the most horrifying movie I've ever seen. I love it. I hate what it's done to sharks.
Right. I've demonised them.
Yeah, but I do love that film. My second favourite film is John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982.
Right, okay. Classic, yeah.
Absolute awesome film. I remember exactly how old I was and where I was when I first saw that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take my eyes off it. And at the end I was like, what's going to happen? Like, who is The Thing? I love it. I love Kurt Russell as well. So yeah, The Thing. I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect film.
Yeah.
And then there's just so many. I mean, The Never-Ending Story.
Great film, classic film, yeah.
I loved it when I was a kid. My mum bought it for me for Christmas on VHS one year, and I just kept watching it.
Yeah. Is it a trio?
Yeah.
A trio.
I like Falcor, the Luck.
Yeah.
There's so many good things in that. I like Gamork. Do you remember Gamork? Like, he looked like the werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
Come for me, Gamork.
Yeah.
He stabs him, kills him. Anyway, yes, a Never-Ending Story. I used to love Willow.
Oh, Willow's a brilliant film.
Labyrinth.
Brilliant film, yeah.
All that genre,
classic,
all them sort of fantasy classics. Predator, Terminator, Aliens. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I can't pick a top five.
So were you, with regards to sort of like Predator, Terminator, Aliens, that sort of stuff, were you influenced by that with regards to your bodybuilding? Because I know that...
Not a bodybuilder.
Sorry, not a bodybuilder, so you're a strongman. What's the difference between the two?
Well, so bodybuilding is obviously aesthetics. You isolate a lot more. You've got to make every muscle pop out. Whereas a strong man in general is just about being as strong as possible at certain events.
Yeah.
So aesthetics doesn't matter.
Right.
You're not training to look good. You're training to be as strong as possible.
Because you actually qualified for the Masters.
I qualified for the OSG.
European qualified.
Qualified for Worlds and for Europe's.
Wow, that's just incredible.
That was OSG Masters, so that's 40s and over. But I didn't go. First one I couldn't afford because it was in America. That was the Worlds.
Yeah.
And Europe's I didn't go because I ruptured a neck muscle.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. And that was really my last sort of, I'm 41, mate.
Mate, what's his name? Mark
Felix.
Mark Felix, yeah.
True, but he's a professional strongman. He's been doing it for years. I got to a decent level. I got to like England's level.
Yeah.
But I could never dedicate enough time, money, the whole lifestyle. I had other things and I got into it late. I didn't do my first comp till I was 33.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So I got into it late. I really enjoyed it. It helped me at a time I needed to do something. But now the acting has taken off, I can't give it to both. So I decided to take a step back from strongman and just try and focus this this was a few months ago I decided this, just to really focus on getting as far as I can with the acting now because I love it. And really to play the hard man, I just need to maintain what I've got. I don't need to push it. And look, I've got a massive scar on my arm. I've had 2 keyhole surgeries on my knees. Ruptured muscle in my neck, various other injuries. I can't afford to be injured all the time.
Where's that video where you were doing that overhead press and you went through the door?
Yeah, I passed out. Yeah, I passed out, didn't I? Yeah, I can't. That's what I mean. And if that had fallen on me, that was like 160 kilos I was trying to put over my head. If that had fallen on me, I don't know what would have happened. Thankfully, I managed to put it down before I passed out. But yeah, I just can't do it anymore, mate. I've got to prioritize other things.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What would you say? What's your most impressive lift then from a one max? What was it? 1 rep max?
Yeah, 1 rep max. The biggest in terms of weight that I ever did was my 350 kilo deadlift.
Wow.
But for me personally, my favourite is my 230 bench. Annoyingly, bench in strongman is irrelevant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is no event that is like bench press, overhead press, but not bench. But
why is that?
Because you've got powerlifting, haven't you? Which is
right.
Deadlift, squat, and bench. To be honest, I would have probably been a better powerlifter than strongman.
Right.
But I always preferred the fun of strongman. But yeah, my bench is probably, compared to everyone else, my bench is probably my strongest lift. But unfortunately, it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So did you compete against the likes of Eddie Hall and people like that?
No.
So there's a level like.
Yeah, you come in at like beginners / first timers, then you go to novice, then you go inters, then you go opens, then you'll go pro. I got to opens. I did a couple of minor pro shows, but those guys were like the elite.
Yeah.
The difference between even the level I got to and the level there was just incredible. Like those guys, they are superhuman.
Yeah.
What they're doing is, put it this way, my biggest deadlift is 350 kilos. Compared to the average gym goer, they go, oh, that's amazing. And I'm like, if I wanted to be one of the best in the world, I'd have to add 150 kilos to that. Like, that's massive. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah. These guys are just, there's a woman, Lucy Underdown. She's one of the strongest women in the world. I think she came second actually this year to Rebecca Roberts, who's Welsh. And Lucy Underdown is from Kent. So we're doing, in Britain, we've got some really good strength athletes.
Yeah.
Especially in the women's side of it. But yeah, Lucy Underdown is the female deadlift world record holder, 318 kilos.
Wow.
I think that's what it is at now, 318. It might even be a little bit more, I can't remember. But yeah, 318 she pulled. She's ridiculous. She's a police officer. So if she's ever coming after you, do not try and run.
Just stop.
Just stop and give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when I started to now, the progression from the men and the women is ridiculous. But I think it was 2012, the world record deadlift was 435. And now look at it. It's 501.
Yeah. Is that Eddie Hall? 501.
Hafthor Bjornsson.
Oh, Hafthor Bjornsson. Oh, yeah. I bet Eddie Hall's sore about that.
Yeah, well, I think that's why he did it, because I don't think they're the best of friends.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And Hafthor's come back. He retired for a while, and now he's just come back to competing.
That's interesting. That'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Well, he's done a couple of shows already. He comes second in both of them, I think, because Mitchell Hooper, a Canadian.
Yeah, who was the world's strongest man last year, right?
Yeah.
And probably this year as well. Yeah.
He's
and he came out of nowhere as well.
He did. He came out of nowhere, and he's not even one of the biggest.
No, he doesn't look big at all, does he?
He's just a supremely gifted athlete.
Yeah.
And he's very cerebral with how he trains and how he competes, and he is a phenomenon.
And when you look at Tom,
Tom Stoltman.
Tom Stoltman, yeah.
But he's another giant.
Yeah, he's huge, isn't he? 6'6" or something like that. 6'8". Yeah.
They call him the albatross, don't they? He's got such a long arm span. But yeah, the sport has progressed massively, men and the women in the last. Well, like I say, I've only been competing 8 years, so in those 8 years, it's gone mental. And I actually saw a video of, I think it was World's Strongest Man from 1992. So it's not even that long ago.
With Jeff Capes and...
I think it was just after Jeff Capes, just after that period. But I remember seeing the events, and I remember thinking, if I was as strong as I am and I competed then, I would have been one of the strongest men in the world.
Wow.
And as it is today, I'm not even one of the strongest men in this country. Can you how crazy is that?
It is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but again, strongman was something I got into at a time in my life when I really needed to focus on something, and it ended up getting me into films. So, again, I'm really grateful that I did that, and that was my mate Ben Joyce. If he ever watches this, he got me into that. So again, another person who helped me out. It's all about people coming to your life at certain times and helping you. Maybe they didn't know it at the time, but they have. And
well, everything happens for a reason, right? That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. And life's about a journey. And we say it all the time on this show, like the acting itself, certainly, and filmmaking is about networking. It's about who you know, who you meet, who you work well with. To
meet the Jacko Macaco team.
Yeah. And, they were a great group of people, and their films were really good. And yeah, I mean, hopefully I get to work with them as well in the future. That would be really cool, So
that is the thing about life, I've realised. It isn't what you know, it is who you know. That is one of the key sayings. There's, all the sayings people come out with.
Yeah.
That is one of the key sayings. Just like home is where the heart is. I never used to understand that. And as I get older, I do.
Yeah.
But that's all deep.
Yeah, it is, yeah. As I say, going back to the Jacko Macaco guys, I'd love to get them over here to work with us actually as a whole team together, because I think that would be really, really cool. I think that would be really, really good. So
you like the
that's
movie,
interesting.
Didn't you?
I really did. Yeah, I thought it was really well put together, and especially considering it was like low/no budget. I thought it was shot exceptionally well. So yeah, really impressed with that. Yeah, so well done, guys. Well done. And the acting was superb as well. The 4 leads were fantastic. Obviously, and yourself as well, but the 4 leads I thought were exceptional. You know what I mean?
They were. Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. Well, we're going to bring it to a close then, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming along. Thank you for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on our next episode, which will probably have me dressed the same because Tequila's coming in a minute, but we're going to release them as 2 different episodes. And our next episode will be with Tequila Carter, who is a makeup artist.
She's lovely.
And she's worked with us loads, and she's been on a whole bunch of different films of us. And she's great. So we're going to talk to Tequila soon. All right. Take care. Bye.